Hello everyone. So this is part 4, the last part for the chapter on homeostasis and hormonal control. Okay, this chapter again is split into 4 parts, and for today in this video, I'll be talking about insulin and glucagon, okay, and something that is new, which is diabetes. All right. So let's begin. Under the syllabus, right, even though you will be seeing more than usual, it is actually pretty straightforward, okay? So you have to explain how blood glucose concentration is regulated by insulin and glucagon as a homeostatic mechanism. So what you study in chapter 5 is actually the same. Okay, how you write it in this video, I will try to make it more explicit. You have to learn how to describe type 2 diabetes in terms of a persistently higher than normal blood glucose concentration, okay, due to the body's resistance to insulin or insufficient production of insulin. Okay, you have to identify some of the risk factors of diabetes and ways to manage type 2 diabetes. Okay, quite simple for the third bullet. All right, so let's go through insulin and glucagon first with respect to homeostatic control. Okay, so it's like a revision to chapter 5. All right, so you can use this as a model answer. When blood glucose level increases above normal, all right, the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas will produce insulin, okay, not glucagon, okay, don't get confused. So insulin, right, is transported by blood. Now you know why it's so important to write the word blood, because of the concept of hormones, okay, and they go to the liver and muscle. So these are the target organs. So the insulin, right, will increase the cell permeability of the liver and muscle cells. So it will make the cells more permeable so that glucose molecules, right, can be absorbed into the cells faster. And at the same time, right, it will stimulate the liver and muscle cells to convert excess glucose, this is a key word, excess glucose, into glycogen and stored, okay, within these cells. So they are actually trying to lower the glucose concentration in the blood by bringing the glucose molecules into the liver and muscle cells. All right, so it's like crowd control. So in the process, right, of bringing all the glucose inside them, converting them to a polysaccharide and storing them, the glucose level, right, will decrease and slowly they will go back to normal. Okay, so this is how you explain or through writing. Actually very straightforward, I feel, but I've been doing this for years. Okay, so to me it's very easy. For you, right, you have to put in a little bit of effort, of course, to keep on writing and writing and writing. Okay. On the other hand, when glucose level decreases below normal level, for example, you go through a long period of fasting, okay, the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas, same thing, will produce glucagon. Okay, so it's glucagon now. Glucagon is transported by the blood to liver and muscle, and it will stimulate the liver and muscles to convert stored glycogen. I think writing the word stored is good, okay? And glycogen have right, of course. And the conversion of glycogen becomes glucose, okay? So it ends up as glucose because they are being broken down. So because glucose are being formed, right? They are very small. They are monosaccharides. The molecules will diffuse out of the cells and they will go into the blood. So it's like releasing a lot of glucose from the cells into the blood. And so this release of increase in release of glucose molecules into the blood, right, will increase the blood glucose level back to normal. Okay, and so this is the effect of glucagon. Uh, please take note. Okay, only when blood glucose level decreases below normal. All right. Yeah, these two are the ones that I want to revise with you. And actually it's very boring, but no choice. Okay, you must learn how to blurt properly and you have to keep on writing. All right, because typically they will come out as FRQ. So let's talk about diabetes. Okay, it is a medical condition and I believe a lot of you know that. All right, which the body of a person experiencing a persistently higher than normal blood glucose concentration. Okay, so when the blood glucose concentration spike to above normal levels for a long period of time, not just like after a meal, okay? It has to be persistently higher, which means for a longer period of time. The person will have a higher risk of contacting diabetes. So actually there are two types of diabetes, okay? Type 1. Type 1, right, refers to insufficient or no production of insulin. So the pancreas, right, doesn't produce insulin at all, okay, or is producing very little. Type 2 is more common, I feel, and I think it's more common. Okay, it's because, right, there's nothing wrong with the insulin. It's because, right, the target organs, right, the liver and muscle cells, they are not responsive to it. Okay, so even though the insulin level is normal, they cannot respond well to the stimulation of insulin. So this is known as type 2. I'm not sure whether it's still the same. They still call it, but we call type 1 early onset, which means it developed earlier, and we call type 2 late onset. Okay, late onset means it will start to develop later on in as the age progress. Okay, but actually there's no need for you to write all this. You only need to know about type 2. Okay, but I think type 1 is good to know as well. All right. So let's talk about the risk factors for diabetes. Okay, obesity is definitely a high risk factor. All right. Age is a risk factor as well. The older you get, the chances of you or the risk of you contacting diabetes is higher. Okay, family history is also important. Your blood lipids level, right, is also the higher the lipids level, the higher the risk factor. Okay, it is linked to obesity, of course. And your lifestyle, right, ultimately is one of the biggest risk factors. Okay, if your activity level is low, your diet is not not balanced, all right, the chances of you contacting diabetes is of course higher. Okay, what are the treatment for diabetes? Okay, number one is the constant monitoring of blood glucose level. Okay, there are instruments out there that allows you to keep on monitoring your blood glucose level, even though it involves pricking your skin. Okay, because it leads to detect the glucose in the blood. You can also use your urine as a form of monitoring. Okay, diet restrictions. All right, this is important. Once you contacted diabetes, right, you have to really watch your diet. Okay, and of course, medication is important for treatment of diabetes. Okay, of course, lastly, lifestyle changes. Once you contact diabetes, you cannot eat as much as usual. You cannot try a range of foods. You have to exercise more, so on and so forth. Okay. And finally, for people with type 1 diabetes, right, they have to go for regular insulin injections. Okay, so yeah, these are the typical treatment for diabetes. Okay, and for this particular slide, right, you have to remember all. I'm not sure about elaboration, but you have to try to remember as many as possible. So this is the end of part 4, okay, and the end of chapter 9. So chapter 9, right, is pretty heavy in a way because it starts off with homeostasis and then it goes on to the concept of negative feedback. You have to learn how to describe the changes in the body when temperature is going higher or lower than normal with respect to the skin. You have to talk about ADH. You have to know the concept of hormones, and you have to talk about insulin and glucagon. And finally, there is the last concept in this chapter is on diabetes. Okay, so that's it. All right. Please, if you have any questions, as usual, please feel free to ask. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.